Play ball! Welcome back to the On Deck Circle podcast. I am your host and director of Dynasty Baseball at fantasy6pack.net, Dave Eddy. You can find me on Twitter at Corporal Eddy. Before we get started, please make sure that you are subscribed if you are not already, and go ahead and smash that like button. So let's just get right into things, guys. So here we go. Man, I got to tell you guys, I love that funky music, man.
Yeah. Gets you pumped, right?
Man, it is awesome, man. So here I am, joined, of course, by our resident heartthrob, Mr. Nick Zanaboni, and our hat wearer, Jason Beckner, who are joining me to talk Dynasty Baseball, of course. So say hello there, boys.
Sorry for stealing your gimmick this week, Jason.
Oh, no worries.
That backwards thing.
Yeah.
It's all
glad
good.
to have you.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm the odd man out here.
Yeah, you just go get a hat, and then me and Jason will talk for a little while, and then you'll be good.
Also, a happy belated birthday to Nick.
Happy belated birthday to Nick.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, 28.
Oh, 28. Okay. That was maybe like your 18th birthday or something.
Nah, I'm barely a prospect now.
Oh boy. Oh man. Well, Nick, I hate for you to yell at me, so I want to make sure that I give you a chance to plug anything that maybe you wanted to plug, because God forbid.
Yep. So this week I covered someone that we covered last week, Jesse Winker, who went on an absolute tear. As soon as we stopped recording, I think he hit like 6 bombs last week.
Nice.
So I was even nice enough to insert our podcast, the video into the blog itself, and it starts as soon as we start talking about Jesse Winker. I'm getting better at this, guys, and that's just
it's about time. It was getting, like I said, it's touch and go there for a while.
Yeah, I can't just blog about the Red Sox. I need to do like some real players and stuff. But we'll see.
Nobody really cares about the Red Sox, but that's not true. But I did sprinkle in a little bit of a surprise for you later on in the show. That's right. So I hope you're ready. Well, what do you got, Jason? What do you got going on there, buddy?
Not much. You guys can find me over at Twitter at JRBex. Get some up-to-date information over there on when my articles are dropping. We got 2 articles coming out weekly at Fantasy Six Pack. So yeah, hit me up on the Twitter.
All right, guys. Well, let's get into our news of the week. So number 1 for me is Alek Manoah getting the call up to the big leagues actually tonight, going up against the Yankees. Yeah, I know, right? Manoah comes in 470th in my dynasty rankings, but he's going to be in for quite a big jump here with the June update that'll be coming out here over the weekend. Oh, well, shit. Yep. Well, either way, he's going to be making his major league debut soon.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. But I mean, if you'd have told me before the season that Manoah would get promoted before June, I definitely would have said that, you're crazy. But he has been electric over 18 innings this year. He struck out 27 batters, walked just 3, gave up just a single earned run. I believe that's on a home run. But, I mean, he's been one of the hottest names in the prospect world so far this year. And with the Blue Jays being in full contention, kind of only made sense, over the past few weeks that, we would end up seeing him pretty soon. I'm excited to see how he does. He's got a very tough draw in his debut. So what are you guys expecting from Manoah, not just apparently tomorrow, but, going forward?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just to piggyback on that, he's just been dominant even since he's been drafted. He did go to college, went to West Virginia, so he's been even dominant there. He basically was ready the minute he was drafted to come up. He quickly elevated through that system. So, I mean, he's definitely one of the top prospects that I've been looking forward to. Like you said, 27 Ks in 18 innings. This guy's got huge K upside. And then, I mean, of all the prospects so far, I mean, with Gore struggling, Pearson struggling with his command, he might be the biggest debut for pitching this season. Sixto's hurt. Manning's struggling with the home runs. Right. So, I mean, this guy's what you basically got to look forward to as of right now, as far as pitching prospects go for debuting.
I mean, Patino is a pretty big name.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah,
Did he play it all last year, Patino, for the?
No, just made a small, I think, at the end of the season, small debut.
Yeah, that's true though, especially with the new team.
Even with the draw of the Yankees, he faced the Yankees in spring training twice. I know, I mean, spring training, so I'll take it with a grain of salt, but he went in his one start against the Yankees, he went 3 innings and had 7 Ks, all of them in a row. And then his other just appearance out of the pen, which was actually a piggyback roll. I think he came in like the 4th inning or something. 2 innings, 4 Ks against the Yankees. So, I mean, like I said, spring training, so take it with a grain of salt, but he's not scared of the competition. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, and I'm looking through my rankings right now, just going from 1 and working my way down and just kind of looking to see who I have the highest rank that might make a debut this year. And I've got Matthew Liberatore, 58th ranked starting pitcher. That's a possibility, I guess. Logan Gilbert was 61st. And that's about, I mean, after that, I start getting down pretty low. Like, I mean, I'm seeing if I have anyone else here that I think would make sense in the top 100. Nope, that's about it. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably, going to be, one of the bigger names that we see, to your point, just like you said there. And, I mean, just because, well, for example, like the reason that we're doing the show today instead of yesterday is birthday boy over here. He went to a Red Sox game, so he was going to be unavailable. So Jason and I were going to try to do a bald version of the podcast.
But then the girls won't watch.
Exactly. Yeah. And we know chicks dig the long ball and Nick's hair. Exactly. And so we said, you know what? Exactly. And so we said, we're going to skip it. We're going to go to Wednesday, which we did before. I went and called a Lugnuts game. So that's what I did last night. But, seeing so much Lugnuts has got me to be quite a fan of the Blue Jays and stuff, getting to know their organization. So Manoah is a guy that I like a little bit more, just because, he's a Blue Jay. Yeah, exactly. I just have a little bit of a tie to him. But so in other news here for, I guess, 2020 in general, I would say that, not 2020, 2021. So far, I say for baseball, we've been able to count on 2 things. Number 1, no injuries. Number 2, like you said, no hitters. However, I have since banned no hitters from being talked about on this program since we talk about them every week. Yep. So let's get into some injuries that are pretty recent here. So we got Bryce Harper. He's on the 10-day IL now with a forearm contusion. Move is actually retroactive to Sunday, so he can be activated as soon as June 2nd. So that's actually, just around the corner there. But, I mean, Harper has provided the Phillies with the most important ability, as we talk about, Nick, availability over the past 2 years, as he's only missed a total of 7 games in those past 2 years. I know, right?
That's pretty good.
It is.
For a star, too.
Yeah. So far this year, he has already missed 7 games when he got hit in the face, early, I think, late April. And so now he's going to, miss some time here, but that's going to leave the Phillies without Harper, without Real Muto, and without Didi Gregorius. So I have a feeling he's going to be back here pretty quick. Yeah. But, I mean, that's news that's fairly recent. News that came out here just a couple hours ago, Marcell Ozuna, he's going to miss 5 to 6 weeks after he located a couple fingers while he was diving into third base last night.
I saw it.
Did you? I could have seen the video, but I just skipped over for some reason.
Yeah, Devers freaked out. Devers jumped in the air and went like this, and I was like, "What the hell just happened?" And then I looked on Twitter, and then it just shows his fingers were just whoop.
I see. So last year, Ozuna, kind of flirted with the Triple Crown in the NL, but he has struggled quite a bit so far this year. Now, that being said, still a, big hit to the Braves, I would say. I mean, even if he's been struggling, it's just a matter of time before he breaks out. Now, Guillermo Heredia is going to take over in left field, and he's been playing pretty well this year. So if he keeps that up, I would say that, I don't think the Braves are going to miss too big of a beat, but obviously, they would prefer to have Ozuna out there.
Maybe get Waters up.
I thought about that, but, I mean, they were pretty clear that Heredia is just going to take his place. But that was my first thought, kind of, was
Where is Pache? Is it Pache or Patch?
IL. It's Pache. Yeah. I mean, pretty much
too.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have to just ask about pretty much any player, just know that the answer probably is that they are on the IL.
Yeah.
So of course we're talking about sports ball here, guys, not baseball. This is sports ball. So thank you, Kara. Very, very, very kind of you to point that out. And then the next one here, the last one I have is, it's not really an injury as much as it is like an injury update, I suppose. Noah Syndergaard, he threw just 1 inning in his second rehab start last night before he was removed with right elbow soreness. So definitely not good news as he's coming back from, Tommy John surgery. Now, similar to his first rehab start, the Mets were scheduling him to go 4 innings, but clearly that did not work out. And now the Mets are just all of a sudden, hit with this major injury bug. So obviously Syndergaard was already hurt, but, they were looking to get him back. They've got Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, J.D. Davis. I acquired him in 30 Rock in the infamous Mookie Betts trade. We got Brandon Nimmo, Michael Conforto, Kevin Pillar, Carlos Carrasco, Taijuan Walker, all notable names for
and
the Mets that are
just came
currently.
back.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just kind of the latest setback for him with all those injuries. I'm sure they were looking forward to having Thor back here in a couple weeks, but you can just kind of chalk that name up to the injury list. It's just nonstop, man.
The owner of the Mets, Stephen Cohen, actually sarcastically tweeted out last night, "Anybody want to suit up?"
Yeah, right.
They're just depleted at this point. I mean,
I tell you what, I bet you they wish they still had Tim Tebow. We could have Tebow time, baby. But no, he's sitting here catching passes from fucking Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and then even Rojas came out and said, this is more, precautionary than anything. But I mean, his velocity had dipped a bunch.
Yeah,
this is not.
He was throwing a bunch of changeups.
Yeah, exactly. This is not good news on the recovery of Thor. So that's something to obviously monitor going forward.
Sure, man. All right, so next up we'll get to the advanced stat of the week, which is kind of becoming my favorite segment on the show. So Jason, this is kind of your thing here, buddy. So why don't you go ahead and run us through our advanced stat of the week?
Yeah, so this week we're going to focus in on FIP. So I think Nick last week said something about having a pitching stat. So we're going to jump into FIP here, which actually stands for fielder independent pitching. So it uses the 3 outcomes a pitcher has the most control of, which is strikeouts, walks, and home runs to an extent. So it's kind of in a way how last week we looked at BABIP. This is almost similar to BABIP for pitchers. Yeah. Kind of takes away defense and any other ballpark factors that he may not have control of, and it kind of gives you. It's on an ERA scale too, so it's a little bit more easier to comprehend too when you're looking at it. You can kind of compare it to their ERA, which is similar to a BABIP and batting average for a batter. So this one you can kind of look at players and see, pitchers. Is it something that they're doing, or is it just getting a lot of quote unquote bad luck? Even if you look at the leaders, I think the leaders, you can kind of see why. I mean, it's a lot of the top pitchers in the league: DeGrom, Woodruff. Their FIP is actually kind of coincides with their actual ERA. So they're actually pitching to what they should be pitching towards. They're the ones that kind of high strikeout guys, limit the home runs. You're going to give a low FIP. So that's kind of one of the good things I like about the FIP is it kind of looks more just what the actual pitcher has versus if he's getting good luck or bad luck versus his defense and players around him.
Yeah, and like you said, if you look right below here on the bottom, it's got the FIP leaders and then the guys, at the bottom. And it's kind of the names, that you're expecting. You got Jacob DeGrom, who's got a huge lead with a 1.19, which is similar to his ERA. And then you jump to 1.72 with Garrett Cole. Brandon Woodruff is right there. Kevin Gausman, who's been fantastic this year. He's also right up there. The guy who's 4th, we'll talk about in buy, sell, hold. That's my little present for Nicky boy. And then we talk about the bottom, the guys that are, I guess at the end of the league there. You've got Patrick Corbin, who we've talked about, has just been atrocious. Kyle Hendricks, who unfortunately, I'm sorry, Jason, but he's been getting
Kyle Hendricks, man.
He's been getting hit around like fucking crazy.
Yep.
Jordan Lyles, who don't even know why he's in baseball. And then Mike Fultonevich, who I don't know. I guess he's a unique story, but you know, I mean, I tend to, when I'm doing research for just anything in general, but specifically when I'm doing for the dynasty rankings and stuff, I gravitate far more towards advanced stats than I do just regular stats. Nick, I really like the expected stats because it literally kind of just, and we talked about this earlier today, kind of a little bit in the Slack chat for Fantasy Six Pack. We're talking about, you know, how I like the expected stats more than anything because they literally take away all your bias. You know, you put everyone on an even playing field. Doesn't matter what park you pitch in. Doesn't matter the defense behind you. It's just literally, you know, how you're doing in comparison to, you know, what everyone else is doing. So when I look at stats, I much prefer an XBA as opposed to what their actual batting average is. Or I can hear that like crazy, Nick.
Sorry. I told you it's fucking hot in here.
Oh,
I had to bring out popsicle. And I opened it right next to my mic. I should have just went up.
You don't say.
Yeah,
you know, I couldn't tell. Oh boy, we're gonna get some viewers on that. I'm gonna screenshot Nick.
Oh, there's gonna be some memes with this popsicle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, boys. That's
My girlfriend is mortified.
she should be. Oh boy.
The good thing with FIP too is you can kind of look at it and see if there's going to be a regression, you know, back to are they performing outside of what they should be. So that's another good thing to look at. Same with the expected stats as well. You can kind of see how they do for a regression, or is this something that's maintainable? So that's another good reason too.
Yeah. All the reasons, like I said, I mean, yeah, it's great to look at, you know, batting averages and, you know, all that fun stuff. But to me, again, it's the advanced stats that truly tell a story. And I think that as we've gone on in time here a little bit, I think as we're educating Nick a little bit, I think he's starting to come around a little bit more.
I'm starting to get it.
And now he's even looking at him.
When I'm looking at trade targets now, I'm looking at these things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
I mean, I've been this good at fantasy baseball without knowing this stuff. So imagine how good I'm going to be.
Let's see. Raise your hand in this chat.
Win 30 Rock.
Raise your hand if you're in the top 25 of 30 Rock.
I might be 25.
I think I might be 25. So.
Raise your hand if you're in the top 4.
I'm top 30.
Yeah, I mean, different approaches. I got to give you guys a hard time, though. But there's different approaches. And then the other 30 teamer that I don't think you guys are in necessarily, but it's basically a carbon copy. I'm second in that one.
It was that Trevor Story deal, man. It catapulted you.
Yeah.
I guess it theoretically might have, but I've been working my way. I've been making some trades in that league. Like the Cole Irvin trade that I made. Yeah, that was a big one. ERA and WHIP are kind of where I was struggling, and so I started going after pitching. And Cole Irvin was a guy that just kind of checked some boxes. And
he's randomly good.
Yeah, kind of. He's just exactly. I mean, in 30 Rock, it's really difficult to just kind of steal somebody because no one is really unintentionally owned. But, you know, I did some digging and came across some stuff that I liked about Cole Irvin, and we'll see how long it lasts. But, you know, it's crazy when you think about, you know, you talk about a lot of leagues and people are going to be talking about, oh, yeah, since I got Trevor Story, it's made a big difference because that makes sense. But in that 30 Rock league, it's literally like, oh, yeah, man, Cole Irvin, boy, that's been a huge pickup for me.
Yeah.
And a lot of leagues, he's on the waiver wire. Yeah, exactly. You know, Cody Petit is all of a sudden like, you know, like, you're shelling out $300.
Who is he?
Pitcher for the Marlins?
No, but why is he good? Was he heralded at all? I've never heard of him.
He throws the sports ball good.
Yeah, apparently. Is he old, young? What's his deal?
Sports ball. I don't know, man. He's kind of one of those older guys who,
late.
As you get older. I mean, the way I look at baseball is, you know, I would much rather have a guy who sits in the low 90s and has 70 grade command than a guy who throws 105 and has a 30 command, right?
Yeah.
And so Petit is kind of like that. He's older, so as he's matured, you know, that command, the control kind of comes around, and he doesn't throw soft. He's low to mid 90s.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you know, we see guys like this kind of pop up where there was no 2020 for so many people. And so, you know, people improve, you know, and you don't see that improvement until early on this season. So you've got a guy like Petit who all of a sudden has really refined and really got that command down. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last, but, he's pitching extraordinarily well at the big league level because he's pitching kind of like a veteran with that command and stuff. So, I mean,
the Marlins just come up with pitchers, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, ask our boy Mags about Yuri Perez. I'm never going to let him live that one down. I'll bid him by like $10 or something, or I don't know, whatever that. Oh, but that was in that 30 for 30, I think. I don't think that's in 30 Rock.
I think Perez just got traded in 30 Rock.
Really?
Yeah.
That would make sense. I bet you Mags got him. We'll see here. Let's see. We'll see.
Nidart started tonight.
Uh-oh. It's already becoming a thing. Oh boy, Nick.
Popsicle man's going. It's going to go viral.
If your name's in the phone book, Nick, you better get it out quick.
No, it's not.
All right. Little buy, sell, hold time, folks. I really like the two we have this week. I guess I kind of like them all because I'm the one that puts them in there. But, I really like them this week especially. So this is one I'm really curious. Well, as a matter of fact, both of these I'm really curious to hear your guys' opinion on. And I actually was going to put somebody else in here just because in that 30 for 30, I am trying to trade Mike Trout right now just to get that boost from second to first, why he's out. And I was going to put a guy in there that I was considering as part of a trade, but I decided to go against that. So as you can see on the screen there, first off, we're going to talk about Austin Riley. So, once a pretty hugely, heralded prospect who was just on fire when he first got called up, and then he kind of fell off the earth a little bit, and then now all of a sudden here we are again. So let's run into some advanced stats here. We're talking 79th percentile xWOBA, 65th percentile batting average, xBA, which doesn't sound like a lot, but Riley is not a batting average guy at all. So the fact that he is, above league average in batting average or even expected batting average, to me, I thought was extremely notable. 77th percentile xSlug, barreling the ball, 77th percentile. Again, I think of him as a high K guy. He's only 18th percentile in K percentage. So, I mean, that's probably got a lot to do with that xBA. He's walking a lot too, 70th percentile in walk percentage. So, all pretty good stats and definitely better than you would think if you know Austin Riley. Then you look at his traditional stats. He's batting .320, which, again, to me is crazy high. When you dig a little bit deeper, his actual xBA is 265. So there definitely seems like there's room for regression there. That's a big gap between the two. His BABIP is 421. So, again, that's a very high BABIP, as we learned a couple weeks ago. Like 300-ish is average. So, he's quite high there. He's got a 414 on base percentage, which kind of leads to that 70 percentile walk percentage. That's a fantastic on base percentage for him. 549 slug, almost 1,000 on the OPS. He's at 963. He's got 9 home runs, 21 RBIs so far to this point. So what are you guys thinking here? Or Riley's kind of been on a roller coaster for us. So are we buying, selling, holding?
I'd probably buy him. I mean, he's like of the same ilk as Bobby Dahlbeck. He's better than Bobby Dahlbeck. I just had to tie that one together. Mm-hmm. But you'll
get your Red Sox talk. Just chill out.
He hammers the ball when he hits it. And in the past, the issue was he wasn't hitting. But now he's barreling the ball up. He's hitting the fucking ball, and the ball's going far. See ball, hit ball, far.
That's hashtag sports ball.
Yes. Hold on. I'm looking at his baseball savant page. 1 second.
Well, please take your time, Nick. We got nothing going on.
Yeah, I know. No. Yeah. It's just supporting me saying he's hammering the ball.
Because, on his baseball savant page is just going to be the stuff I just fucking rattled off, Nick. But that's fine. Take your time.
But then you leave me nothing to say. So I just need to express he's hitting the ball hard and it's going far.
That's noted.
Yeah, I'm buying him too. Like I said, he's making a ton of hard contact. He already has more home runs than he did in all of 2020, which it's about around the same size, the sample, but a little bit ahead of schedule on that for home runs. One thing to monitor is his BABIP is actually the highest in the league at 412. So one thing kind of monitor going forward.
I thought I thought like a couple weeks ago we were talking about like Trout was at like 500.
Yeah, I think.
And Trout dropped.
Yeah, I guess I looked up today on Fangraphs. 412 is actually the highest in BABIP. It's Austin Riley. Both his WOBA and his expected WOBA Bacon are in the top 5% of the league. And then also inside top of that, he's actually having the most success against the righties. So, I mean, I think he's batting 286 with runners in scoring position and has got an OPS of over 1,000 with runners in scoring position. So
who needs Marcell Ozuna? Well, you
exactly.
got Austin Riley. Yeah. Forget about it. All right, Nick. All right, Nick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. Are you ready? Like, are you for sure ready?
I think so.
Popsicle?
Oh, he wishes. He wishes. We're going to talk about Nathan Eovaldi, your Red Sox.
All right.
Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Nathan Eovaldi, 73rd percentile ex-WOBA, 73rd percentile ex-ERA, 72nd percentile ex-slugging, 82nd percentile in barrels. Where I started to get a little bit surprised, only 36th percentile in K percentage. And I kind of think of him as a strikeout pitcher. So the fact that he's below average in K percentage to me was quite a surprise. Probably the biggest reason that he has been so good this year is 82nd percentile in walks. So obviously he's not getting the strikeouts that I would think, but he's not walking anybody. And he's not getting hit hard, 80th percentile hard hit percentage. But he's still throwing hard, 88th percentile in fastball velocity. So, as Nick already knows, in 10 starts this year, he's gone 55 in the third innings. He's got 5 wins. ERA slightly on the high side, 4.39, but he's got an xERA of 3.28. So he's definitely that ERA is actually much higher than it should be. 1.19 whip, which is good. That goes back to the fact he's not really walking anybody. 51 strikeouts in those 55 innings. So, almost 9 per, not too bad. 13 walks. Now, where we get really good here is his FIP, which we talked about earlier today, 2.46 on the FIP. So that puts him 3rd best in the league. So I think it's only fair that we give Nick an opportunity here to rattle on why we go off in La La Land and talk about his boy, Nathan Eovaldi.
Buy him.
So Trout for Eovaldi. Who says no?
Is Trout hurt?
Who cares?
In all seriousness, I would buy him. He's a good guy to have on your squad. But it depends. Again, if he's your number 1 pitcher, you're just fucked. So you're going to need he's like a good 4 or a 3. Just to put in perspective, in my home 24-team league, I have 16 Red Sox.
And how deep is the roster? Like 18?
No, it's pretty big. I'm in 1st place, so it's fine. I do not own Nathan.
Are they only counting stats in Fenway?
No.
Okay.
I wish. That'd be sick.
Right.
Just a Fenway only league?
Yeah, Fenway only.
No. I'll just get all of the Sox prospect guys, Ian, Jake. That'd be fun. No, it wouldn't. But by Eovaldi, the team is doing well, which was very unexpected. And I was saying to you guys before, him and Rodriguez have been like the 2 pitchers that when they go out, I'm like not as confident as I should be. But Rodriguez has been pretty bad. But in general, when I saw Eovaldi's numbers, I didn't think he was doing that good. Like the 4.39 ERA was surprising, but he's won 5 games because they're scoring runs.
Right.
They're
that again. That's where I like the advanced stats more than I like traditional stats because, when you compare, like I talked about, when you compare that ERA to the xERA, he should be giving up about a run less. If you were to look and see a 3.28, ERA, I mean that's not spectacular, but that's solid, especially pitching in that division. I don't know exactly what their schedule's been like, but I mean, if you had if before the season you'd have been told his ERA was going to be 3.5, let's say, you'd have went, oh shit, like you'd have taken that in a heartbeat, right? Yeah, for sure.
I, on the other hand, am going to sell Eovaldi.
Bam, there it is.
Never been a huge Eovaldi guy. One of the biggest reasons is he doesn't throw a ton of innings. Yeah, mostly due to injuries. He hasn't pitched more than 125 innings since 2015. So I mean, that's a big concern right there. However, like you said, his velocity's up a little bit this year since 2020. He's relying less on the cutter, which is obvious, so it's kind of a shock because more people are relying on the cutter. He's not. Right. But he is getting ahead of the count. He's throwing more first pitch strikes than ever before. Another thing of concern, though, is the lefties are feasting on him. His ERA is over 5 versus lefties. And another good thing that kind of just mentioned, too, is his FIP is 2 runs lower than his ERA. So you can kind of see a little bit of progression in the ERA. So I think all hands on deck and sell him right now while you can before, he's on the IL.
IL, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like you guys ever watch Press Your Luck?
Nah.
Is that no whammies?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that. Like, theoretically, if you look at his advanced stats, you could look at him and say, well, he's actually due for some positive, movement there in some of these stats. And you theoretically could see, 2, 3, 4 starts down the road where those numbers start to look a little bit better, and then you sell him. But like Jason said, his ability to be available is his biggest question mark. So if you hold on to him and he gets hurt, then you might just be screwed. So selling him kind of makes some sense too. Yeah, but of course Nick's going to buy him because the
Red Sox.
That's what Nick. But I do have a question though, Jason. In all seriousness, right now, if you had to pick whether you wanted to own Hendricks, who's your guy, or Eovaldi, who would be Nick's guy in Dynasty, who are you taking?
Oh, Hendricks,
because they're on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Hendricks, without a doubt.
Okay, so Nick, same question to you then. A guy that's on fire but not as well thought of, or a guy who's terrible but more highly regarded? Were you taking Hendricks or are you taking Eovaldi in Dynasty?
I'd probably take Hendricks.
Really? Okay. Well, you never know. I thought that was a fair question.
They're pretty close. But Hendricks can throw wherever he wants.
Yeah, he gets hit wherever the batter wants to hit it. But exactly. All right, time for some final thoughts, guys. What do you got?
We haven't been able to talk about this. Fuck Tony La Russa. That's all I got.
Yeah, he's an old fucking weirdo,
My
right?
God, man.
Like Uncle Tony.
He's saying the worst thing. Like the other day, he didn't say exactly this, but he legitimately was like, Andrew Vaughn plays the game like the right way. Like doesn't like showboat or anything. Like, shut up, man. And then you're bringing Andrew Vaughn down because like his teammates are gonna look at him like, oh, he's Tony La Russa's like golden boy. Oh,
it's just weird. It's the whole thing with him it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know how long he's gonna last.
I mean, they're in first place, right?
Yeah, the best team in baseball.
Yeah, but it's just weird. Like I just see him losing that team if he hasn't already. It's just he's just not very player friendly,
Like that Lance Lynn comment where he was like, he has a locker and I have an office. Like you don't say that about Lance Lynn.
That's just that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. It's just like what the fuck are you talking about? Like seriously?
Yeah. He's just stuck in the past, too, man. I think today I saw an AL team sack bunted 4 times today.
What?
It's that. Yeah. Stuck in the past, man. Stuck in the past.
That's tough.
I mean, what I'm gonna go ahead and leave with is Nick. I will never forget that popsicle. I do have a question.
Trending. Let's get it trending on Twitter.
I do have a question though. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Oh, don't worry, this is gonna happen. But I have a question though. What flavor was it? It kind of looked like it was like
a creamsicle.
Yeah,
orange creamsicle. That's
good. I think it was pineapple.
Oh, okay.
So kind of like pina colada-y.
It looked good. Not gonna lie.
No, it's from Trader Joe's. If you guys have Trader Joe's is like a thing.
I mean, it'd be more of a thing if they sponsored our show.
I'll hit him up.
So maybe head on down there.
I'll hit up Joe.
Yeah, go right to Joe himself.
We can have the Trader Joe trade corner where we talk about trades. That's actually brilliant.
Pitch it.
Pitch it.
Wow.
Oh
I'll talk to the 17-year-old manager at Trader Joe's.
Oh, said it. Okay, I thought it looked orange. I guess I wasn't
yellow.
looking. I was. I don't know.
It was all yellow.
Oh man, that might have been. I'm sure if it was banana, he'd have ate it a lot faster. Swallowed it.
Yeah. My
My
final thought is it's almost Memorial Day and the Cubs are a game out of first place. So and they might be at the end of this weekend. So
go Cubs, go.
And meanwhile, I'm hoping the Tigers get another top 3 selection. But hey, Spencer Turnbull, right? Woo!
That's right.
That's fun.
All right, that's enough. I slipped a no-hitter in there. That means we're officially off the air.
It's done. Yeah, off the rails.
Peace. See you guys next
See you,
Tuesday.
boys. Yep. Back to our normal.